So far, it's the third reset of Ulduar now, and there was still one boss that hadn't been killed. Yep, it was XT, but now it's dying all over the place fairly easily. The numbers required to beat the enrage timer on both 10 and 25 were extremely tight, and the amount of damage that goes out from things like Gravity Bomb is also incredibly high. Not to mention that the raw AoE damage going out of the Tantrum is so high that this is normally where most guilds fall down. Now, it's been nerfed to the point where actually it's fairly approachable for everyone, and I just want to talk about it a little bit. So as you can see by looking at the logs from February the 1st, which was when it was nerfed, which is today, guilds are just killing it left, right, centre without too much difficulty at all. The thing I find really interesting about this is at the moment I haven't actually gone back into Ulduar because I'm in the EU, so obviously our raid time is going to be this evening. But the different compositions is quite crazy actually, so ranging from anywhere being able to kill it with 4 healers, a lot of guilds doing it with 5 healers, but you see quite a few 4s actually crop up, and guilds even going up to 6 healers and still killing it in under 5 minutes, where before people was hitting the enrage timer even with 4 healers. That's quite crazy. There's got to be some quite extensive nerfs, which we're going to look at the nerfs now. So as you can see on the developer notes, we want to make XT hard mode more approachable on both 10 and 25 player difficulties, while maintaining the exciting pacing of the original pre-nerf 6-minute berserk timer. I don't actually think 10-man wasn't approachable. I think 10-man's doable by the vast majority of people. Yes, you do need relatively good DPS, but very comfortable to 1 tank and 2 heal, so that does give you 7 DPS to play about with that 6-minute enrage timer. And don't get me wrong, I've killed the boss a couple of times now where we've actually had to kite. You know, the tank's had to rocket boost off because it's gone over the enrage timer, but we've still managed to get a kill. So I don't really see the point of touching 10-man. It was mainly 25, which probably needed some changes. Not sure they needed changes to this extent though. So on 10 player, the total damage required to defeat XT reduced by 20% during the heartbreak phase. So this is when you enter hard mode, it's lost literally 20% of its health. That's quite big. The Heartbreak health buff is now 40% where it was 90%. The Heartbreak buff health is now 8.4 million, so this is the amount of health you need to get through where it was 11.4, and the Life Spark health is now 100,800, which on 10-man quite honestly makes this, I don't want to say face roll, because I'm sure there's still going to be some people that have problems with it, maybe due to healers or due to people actually doing the mechanics, which there's fairly limited mechanics on XT hard mode, to be completely honest with you. They said they wanted it to be approachable. I fear now in 10 player it's just basically free loot. Until I actually go in this evening and do a 10 and 25 man run, I'm not going to be able to know 100%, but judging by what I've seen other people doing at the moment on the NA realms, I'm pretty confident to say that it's a very, very, very easy hard mode to do now. The biggest changes though come to 25 player, because this is where all the guilds were struggling. I was going to say vast majority, but quite honestly, there was no guilds that even killed this boss. So first of all, the Heartbreak health buff is 40% and it was 90%, just like in 10 man, which means the base health is now 18 million where it was 25 million. The heart health is now 4.4 million where it was 6.1, which just means you don't even need to use lust or heroism to be able to kill the heart to activate hard mode. In fact, I've had some of my NA friends say that they accidentally was pushing hard mode on 25 man without even trying now, which before was probably pretty difficult. So now the Heartbreak buff health is 25.2 million where it was 47.5 million. Now that is huge and makes an absolute monstrous world of difference and just makes it very, very easy, which is why we're seeing the majority of guilds that have killed other hard modes be able to get it down. I should retract that where I said it's very, very easy, because don't get me wrong, it's still not very, very easy, you know, but if you're killing other hard mode bosses, you shouldn't now have problems with XT. Which is a bit of a shame. I feel like it's too early. There's nothing wrong with having a boss last more than a couple of weeks. Back in the days, there would be months going by before certain bosses was killed, and yes, I know that's because we had to work out how the mechanics work, and all of that's already been worked out on private servers, and obviously when it was current content back in the day. But I do believe that this boss would have died eventually, if not this week, maybe even next week, without it being nerfed, and that to some guilds would have felt a lot better than now going in and just stomping it post-nerf. So overall, I would say it was too soon. Could have left it alone just for another couple of weeks. You've got to remember, we've only had 2 resets to get gear. Some people in your raid have probably been very lucky and got lots of gear. Other people have probably been very unlucky and maybe not even got a single item yet outside of ones that they've been able to buy with emblems. So over the next couple of resets, as the gear's starting to even itself out, the boss would have naturally become easier, and that was what Blizzard said they wanted to do. In a developer interview, they actually said, you know, as the gear goes up, obviously the boss difficulty comes down, so there should be no need to make changes to it. They did say that they probably would look at XT just because of the trouble people were having on the PTR, But I still think 2 resets in, or, you know, now we're in the 3rd reset to be nerfing it already. Too soon in my opinion, but let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one.